Hello, all of my crafty friends. I'm so glad to see you out there. That means it's another Thursday and it's time to run with scissors, the safest crafting live stream of the week. Anyway, I'm so glad you're all here. Nancy, I'm so glad to see you're here. Humid San Francisco and overcast. You know, it's starting to get into the fall, which means we're going to have some beautiful weather, and I really can't wait for that. It's going to be hot here this weekend, but I know that fall is just around the corner. It's my favorite time of year, so I really can't wait for all the changing leaves and all of those nice crisp days. I can pull out my jean jacket again and all of my wonderful fall and winter gear that I love so much. Anyway, here we are. We're crafting again today. We've got another fantastic project with Concord and Ninth's Snail Mail stamp set. So we're going to use that again today, and we're going to talk scraps and all sorts of good things. Let's pop into some announcements real quick here. So I did announce last week that I have this piece of hair in front of my eye. It's driving me nuts. I can't get it. Where are you, hair? Isn't that the worst? Like, you can see it. Ah, there it is. Crisis averted. Oh my gosh. Okay, so our stamp focus for this month, as you know, is Snail Mail. Our stamp focus for next month is Mail Drop. Sensing a theme, anyone? Yeah, so cute. Love this stamp set. It's got a little matching snail on it. So, you know, I'll be mixing and matching both of these sets next month because I could have two little snails on my cards. It's going to be so cute. All right, so that information is down below if you want to grab that stamp and die set. They're both back in stock at Concord and Ninth, or you can always check your local stockist to see if they happen to have it, if they carry Concord and Ninth. Let's see, Bloom is coming. If you're not a part of it already, you want to get on that waiting list. Everyone that is joining in today, hi Cece, Sue, and all sorts of folks. You are already Bloom members. I'm so glad that you guys are a part of our community. We're having great fun over at Bloom. And it's growing, and I'm building out more and more each week and each month. So it's something that you want to be a part of, I know. So you want to go over to bloomcrafters.com, check it out, and get on the wait list. You never know when I might open the doors early for a little flash open like I did a couple weeks ago. I never winked. That was so funny and creepy at the same time. Anyway, thank you, Anne. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I really am loving putting everything together over at Bloom. All right, so as always, I'm always appreciating your support to this crafty channel and my blog and my Instagram. If you want to show me some support, use those affiliate links down below at no additional cost to you. It's the best thing about affiliate links. You find someone you love, you click on their link, you do some shopping, and you're saying thank you to them without shelling out anything else from your pocketbook. The stockists that do affiliate programs happen to send us little commissions when you use our links to shop. And it is much appreciated. It helps make this content flow, gives me great crafty ideas, helps me to know that you love what I'm doing. So thank you for that. Another new thing that I've got, if you want to show some direct support, I do have a tip jar now. So click on that link in the sidebar in the chat if you are live with us today, or go down in the description below and just click on that link. It'll take you to a PayPal page and you can throw me a little tip, $1 for a cup of coffee. It'd be so nice. Thanks, guys. All right, let's take a look at some things. Oh my gosh, I have so much going on the desk today. So remember, this is the stamp set for next month. This is Concord and Ninth's Mail Drop. I love it. It's going to be interactive. We get to do fun interactive things with this. I keep seeing this little post box here, and I think it's going to be red. At least in one of my projects, it's definitely going to be red. So I'm really excited about using this stamp and die set. So you can make like your own little envelopes. They're so adorable. I love it. Okay, so can't wait to dive into that one. This is, of course, what we're doing today. Take a look at today's project. If you didn't look at the preview image from the video, here it is. Oh my gosh, I love this card. Oh, and I still have all of my, okay, so here's a little insider tip. when you're taking photos of things and your card, you're doing like a flat lay, like, you know, from up above, right? And you want it to look just like that. But it won't stay closed, right? Like it always kind of flops open a little bit or whatever. Put some temporary adhesive on the inside and smash that bad boy shut. No one will ever know. Unless they happen to get the card and you've forgotten to take out all of that little adhesive. Sometimes I go through my card piles and I'm cleaning up cards or whatever to donate or to send to friends, and I go to open it and I can't because it's got temporary adhesive inside of it. So sometimes I forget, but it always comes off. Looks really nice. You can't even tell that it was on there. All right, so here we go. This is today's card. I love it. I wanted to do something with just this love you lots, and I love the way that this little element turned out. It's a little shaker. So cute. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to pull in some scraps. So we'll talk about scraps here. So I know we've talked about scraps in the past. I want to just review with you guys real quick. This is my scraps bin. Believe it or not, this is all the scraps I have. I kind of do the Marie Kondo thing. If I take a look at a scrap and it doesn't spark joy, it goes in the circular bin, the trash. Okay. But I have everything organized in here, and I know this has helped some of you out before, so I'm, you know, totally happy to talk about it again. All right. So I have things like split up into different sections. If it's a die cut or something like that, like these are just objects, die cuts, usually leftover die cuts from projects. I have these all kind of separated out. So I've got die cuts. Then I have geometrics, right, to include like frames that I have that have been cut with geometrics. I've got florals and animals here. See, like I've even got a little snail dude in here. All right. And then I've got sentiments. Sentiments I break out kind of differently. So not necessarily by stamp set or anything like that. Like these are little sentiment strips. Let's see, little die cut sentiment. This actually happens to be from the same set. This is a Concord and 9th Turnabout set. But then like I kind of break them up by the word that they are. So like thanks and large alphabets, things like that. I just kind of have these broken out like so. So it doesn't always have to be from the same set. Okay. Put all of those in there. And then I even have ones that were like the die cut reverses. So like when you're using the mega dies, you have these left over. I like to save these because you never know. I mean, that's a lot of glitter paper. I could cut it up and use it for other things, or I might actually use it for the hello that it is, right? I mean, like that would look so awesome. Okay, so those are in there. And then back here, I've got all of my like legit paper scraps. So, you know, things from cutoffs from ends. You recognize some of these are the pulls that we did on the gel plate. Some smush on glossy paper, you know, all those kinds of things. So I have all the small bits up front, and then in the back I have my bigger pieces. So like something that would fit on a whole card base or larger. All right. And this is how I organize my scraps bin. Okay. So when I'm looking for scraps, and yeah, so Sue hit the nail on the head. She likes all the different designs on this project, right? So cool, the way that they all look good together. So how do we do how do we go through our scraps and find some pieces that are going to work well together? So the key is knowing your color wheel. So grab your color wheel and start looking at colors. Pull out one piece that really kind of speaks to you. So like say I'm going through here and, you know, I see this beautiful gold and or silver and yellow and green shimmery piece. Okay, so this would be like a great element for this. Like if I wanted to change up the colors on this, this would be great, right? And then I'm going to start looking for colors that and pieces that'll look good with it. And I'll pull out more than I need because you never know like what size is going to speak to you. So like, heck, I've had this piece in here forever. This was a sample from Creativation 2 years ago, but I love it. And I knew that at some point I would use it. And I think that these pieces look really good together, right? I could even throw in just this white textured piece, cut it down to the size that I need and throw that in there. Let's see what other So I'm kind of going with like a gray, green, silver, yellow thing right now. So then when I start pulling out other things, I can say, well, does this look good with it? No, probably not, because of this like pink in here, and then the green and the blue are just a little different. That could work. But see, like now, if I pulled this out, I'm going to say, nope, totally it doesn't belong. So I could do this for a different project, right? Let's see. So I'm just going to keep going through, and oh, see, here's another great piece with some green and yellow in it. And this one's got gold in it, so if I wanted to go a different route with gold, I could do that, but I think not. I like the silver thing we have going on here. This one, excuse me, the green is not quite right, so we'll skip on that one. This one could work, even though it's got pink in it, it could work. But anyway, yeah, so this is what I do. I go through and I just rifle, and I find different things that'll work. I'll even go into my larger pieces. If I end up cutting up one of these pieces, then so be it. That's fine. Right? I can go through and find things that will work. All right, so I think I've got enough. I mean, so I even have like these full pieces back here that I haven't even looked at yet. If I needed to, I could grab probably one of these. Like that one might work. But I think I've got enough here to do what I need to do. And that's it, right? So now all of a sudden I've picked up some things that I think are going to work, even though I have this already cut. Okay. So, oh, you know what? We can actually do two versions of this card. Okay. So this is like a color blocking, right? So if these were solid colors, right, it would just be like a, you know, geometric blocked kind of look with this on the top, which is totally cute. So doing all of these different patterns and everything works out really well. And I've got sizes for you. So when I post the recap post on my blog tomorrow, and I already have the link down there that will take you to the post. It's not live yet though, so you can't get to it. But when that goes live, there is going to be a PDF, and it does have all of these measurements. So you don't have to worry about like going crazy taking note of the measurements today. Okay, so this long strip here, which, you know, it can be anything you want it to be. It doesn't have to be these sizes, but they look good. So let's say I want to do, okay, so I'm going to use these for sure. Let's do, you can always pull in a piece of washi tape. Okay, so that's always an option too, right? If you don't have something to match 100%, you can always washi it, right? So I think what I'm going to do, oh, so I'm going to do that in the background, and then we'll do these three. Okay, I've got it nailed down, guys. Okay. I kind of like this too, though. Because I don't have a long strip, do I? Choose this one. I could layer them. Now let's do this long. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm going to have to riff on my sizes here a little bit. So we're going to go through the original one first. Then we'll just remake the card twice. Okay, so on my pieces here, this piece is 2 3/8 by 3 inches. And this piece here is 1.5 inches by 5 1/4. And then this piece here is going to be 2 3/8 by 2 1/8. But I need to add some washi tape to this one. So the rest of these I did pull from my scrap bin. I did actually have a piece with this washi tape on it, but I used it all. So for this one, I'm going to just recreate the same kind of idea. Okay, so Anne says she wants me to layer it. I can do that. The thing about the layering it, Anne, is that I'm worried about thickness in relation to thickness of everything else, but we'll figure it out. I kind of liked the way it looked layered though, so we can do it. We can do it! So glad to see you all popping in. Don't worry about being late. You can start the replay and do it in like 2 times speed, and then you catch up to the live stream. That always works out well. I do that all the time. I'm just glad you're all here. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you are enjoying today's broadcast. All right, so I just took this piece of cardstock and I added the washi tape to it. All right, so now I have that same cool pattern piece for the bottom. All right, so let's do this. I kind of like to batch things, so what I'm going to do is glue these guys down, and then we'll talk about the other pieces for the green card. And go from there. Okay, so this piece, which I put the supplies for these actual pieces down below as well. So this piece is white with the striped stencil on it, and then I did some ink dripping over it. Okay, and then this is embossing paste. All right, so this was a scrap that was sitting in my box, and I this piece came from this piece. I mean, they were both from the same piece. I think it was like almost the full size card front left over from a design team project. All right, so that guy's going to go over here on the side. And then this piece, these were not from the same, they were from the same project, but not from the same actual piece. So this was the bubble wrap from Alteneo, their stencil, and then this was ink smushing with the stencil. So this guy's going to pop over here. All right, and so what I'm doing as I go is I'm just making sure, putting this one in first is helpful because it gives you the distance that you need. So since this one spans the whole length, I need to make sure that it's evenly spaced top, left, and bottom. So I'm looking for even spacing of the card base below it, right? So then when I put this next piece in, I can make sure that my spacing in between here and the side are good, and then it matches at the top. Okay, so that gives me like a perfect matchup so far. And then I've got my washi tape piece here. And that's just going to fit in the bottom space here. So this kind of reminds me of like a comic book layout too, or a curio cabinet kind of look. So color blocked a little bit. So pattern blocked, if you will. All right. So love the beginnings of this. Okay. So with these guys, what we need to do. Okay. So Anne wanted to layer. Okay, so this piece here is actually going to go behind this element for the shaker. Okay, so that's where this piece comes from, and it's totally awesome. It's like yummy. Okay, actually I could probably cut this in such a way that it would work, but I don't want to get that detailed. Okay, so if I layer these two together, the thing is, this is only a 1/4 inch off, so I don't know that I'm really going to get a whole lot out of layering it, but I know what I can do. So, okay, so what I need to do now is cut down these pieces so that they match my measurements here. So I'm going to go do that and step away for a moment. All right. So 5 1/4, and then we need three and 2 3/8. All right, so now what I have is this here. is going to be cool. All right, but I'm going to So it's moments like these that I'm like, why don't I have any silver washi tape? I never wanted silver washi tape until right this moment, so that I could match it up with this. But that's not going to happen. So I will, this piece isn't long enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to layer it like that. I'm going to layer it off to the side. So I just have this piece here. Yes, CC. See, I wasn't even really thinking, well, I made this weeks ago, but all of those backgrounds that you just made, that you shared out on Instagram. God, Anne, you have the best ideas. Yeah, but Cece, all of those backgrounds that you did, you need to go make these. And Anne had the best idea. Anne. Okay. Glitter paper. Because you know I have that. All right. Anne to the rescue. So there it is, glitter paper, so smart. And that glitter is going to match up so nice with the glitter that is in the stickles. All right, so this is this was a sample of the Tim Holtz stickles that came out a couple years ago. And I love it because it's like got all sorts of great iridescence in it, but it also has these large pieces in there. It's very cool. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to just bump those two together. Like so. Forget this guy. There we go. Okay. Let's do this one up. All right, so now Cece, you've got lots of great ideas. And you know what the cool thing is I bet you a lot of your backgrounds already look good together, because if you were doing colors that were similar, then you've already got lots of things that look good together. So yeah, that's going to work out well. Okay, so the question is, what do I'm just thrilled that I'm using this piece of cardstock that's been living in my scraps bin forever. Okay. So, Anne, is that directed at me? I'm so awesome. No, you're so awesome. You're the one that said glitter paper. How did you know? Okay, so I'm starting at the same side. All right, so this little strip is going to help set the tone for distance, for how far apart everything is. You see how that's nice and equally spaced all the way around, left, right, and top. That's exactly where you want to start. That's going to set you up for success. Okay, so then I noticed that as I cut this, it got a little funky here. And, you know, I think for a lot of us, it's really hard to get rid of our scraps, right? Because you're like, oh, I might make something with that someday. Yeah, you might. You might not. It might take a couple years. You just have to be willing to say, how much space am I going to give to my scraps. I go through my scraps bin and on occasion and I toss things because I look at it and I say, that's a little out of style, or that's not my style anymore. You know, all those kinds of things. So Cece, my recommendation to you is to go through your scraps bin and see if you have things with other textures on them that will coordinate with those backgrounds that you did. So that way you can create something even more interesting than just something that has all the same kinds of backgrounds on it. Like we're doing it here, we're kind of collaging all of these things together, right? All right, so this piece of paper has been through so much. It has like rips on the back and all sorts. I just couldn't part with it. I don't know why, but here it is today being used finally. So excited. So yeah, or even take some of those backgrounds that you have and, you know, slap a layer of embossing paste over it with a stencil or something like that, just to give it some more visual interest. Okay, and then this piece here is just a plain white piece of cardstock, but it has texture because it's got the embossing on it. So Teresa wants to know, is this considered mixed media? Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's really not a hard and fast definition for mixed media, except that, hey, look, we're mixing media. So it doesn't have one clear technique to it, except that we're using scraps. But I've mixed all of these fun patterns and textures together. And I really think that that's at the core of mixed media is pattern, texture, mediums, adding those all three together in a way that makes them look really cool. Okay, so now we have two really cool backgrounds. They look awesome, but they look kind of contrived. They're not really brought together yet. So putting this little shaker element in the center is really what's going to bring this together. Okay, so remember last week we cut these out from the card base and then we turned it into a square, right? So I had one left over. Of course, I have another one left over from another project. So I saved them because they're perfectly good die cuts and I knew that they would get used for something, and lo and behold, they got used for the next week, right? So we're not doing any stamping in this project today. No stamping, but we're going to use the dies here. And we just need, because we've already used this die to cut out our white piece, we're going to use the rest of these dies to cut these out. Okay, so I have the Love You Lots and I have the heart. So the Love You Lots gets really just kind of centered in here. All right, so just kind of eyeball that. And as long as you have room at the top for the heart, you should have no problem fitting the heart at the bottom. Unfortunately, this only has one heart in it. So we are going to have to run this through a couple times. Just to get everything in place. Okay, but I did bring over my mini blossom today, so I wouldn't have to worry about getting up. So yeah, let's see. Cece, you're so funny. How are you going to be able to sleep? I don't know. Aren't you glad that you were able to stay awake long enough to join us today? My goodness. If you want, you can save the little teeny tiny letters that are from the dies here. You know, actually, it would be kind of fun to do a shaker with all these little letters kind of rolling around in there. So I will save these. And then, of course, there's even the little heart. I guess I don't need this then. There's a little heart, too. So all these little letters. There's little heart. So you're going to have all these little alphabet letters that I think would work really great in a shaker card. Of course, you could put them back together if you want. Your little brain cells are working hard. Yes, that is so true. That is proper English usage there, CC. Okay, so I'm just taking that heart and popping it on the bottom now. Actually, now that I've got that on there. There we go. You guys are so funny. It's funny when you're just doing a little die cut like this with the mini blossom, it's like you're not even turning anything. It's crazy. Okay, so there we go. There's one. We need to do another for our other card. So, you know, this card, the second one is going to be, it's got all the greens and the silvers in it. I mean, I guess that's like a non-traditional love because it doesn't have the colors in it, right? But love is whatever. I mean, if you've got a friend or a, you know, family member that, oh, you know what I need to do is, this really does need the shim because those little letters don't like to cut out with the mini blossom. You know, if you've got a friend that loves these colors, then that's love to them, right? To make something that is special for them. So you don't have to, just because it's love, it doesn't have to be red or pink or whatever. It can be what you love or what your recipient loves. Okay. So there's that and that. And then one more. All right, and I am not really taking great pains to get these hearts centered. I'm getting them close, but they don't need to be perfect. Aw, Cece, you're so sweet. Yeah, I know you guys, you love the chat, so it's good to have the chat and to be here for the live chat. So that's why you should tell your friends to join us live. Get questions answered. We have fun with ideas. We brainstorm. Anne gives us great ideas. Okay, so now I've got these guys and we need to turn them into shakers, which is so awesome. Okay, and we're going to do tulle shakers. So I need to cut another piece of tulle. So tulle is just a mesh ribbon, they call it, but it's just a mesh. And it comes in lots of different colors. I typically just have white because I can dye it any color that I want with an ink pad. All right, so the tulle's going to go on here first. I'm going to use this 1/8 inch, if I can find the end of it, there it is, double-sided adhesive to put the tulle in place. And I'm basically using the little dotted lines from the die cut to help. So using double-sided adhesive, you know, on a roll like this is perfect for the tulle because if you try to use a liquid glue, it's not, well, it's going to seep through the tulle and then it's going to get all over your hands or whatever. And then if you try to use a regular tape runner, a lot of times it's not sticky enough. So this works really well. So you can just stretch the tulle on there. And you can even peel it off. You see how I did that? Just because I needed to kind of place it down a little differently. I think maybe I just need to cut a different piece. Yeah, I'm just going to cut a different piece. I didn't really cut this square and now it's being all funky, so it'll stand by. We need 2 pieces anyway. Okay. So see, I have this, it comes on a big roll. Yeah, Sue, I thought I could have just put this right in the center, right? But it would be boring. It needed a background to it. And I said, well, why not turn it into a shaker, right? Okay, so there. Now I have a nice square line to cut from. And bigger scissors. I should have been using my ribbon scissors because these are kind of dull. All right. Here we go again. Yay. All right, so see now that that's stuck on there really good. It's awesome. So, like I said, using liquid adhesive, you're gonna be sticking all over your fingers. Using a tape runner, it's just not gonna stick enough. All right, so then I can just carefully trim it back or even fold it over. That would work too. If you don't want to have any tools sticking out the sides and things like that. Okay, I can't use these scissors. Okay, so these are my ribbon only, and these will cut. Hey, look at that. That's amazing. And that's why, my friends, you have ribbon and fabric only scissors, because they stay super sharp and they will cut. Okay, so this guy's done. And I've got this extra piece here, so let's do this up. See, I like to batch when I'm working on multiples. Let's see. Oh, yay. I'm glad you're getting this set, Sarah. Very cool. All right, Sarah and Cece, sounds like you guys have a little secret going on. I love it. Stamp secrets. It's fabulous. Okay. So let's see. What time is it for you guys in Sweden? Because I know it's like Paula Mellows for you in the UK right now. It's, oh, let's see, like 10 o'clock, 10:30? Something like that. Yeah, I know you guys know each other. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so Paula's, it's 10:30 in the UK. What about you guys in Sweden? Is it a lot late? Oh, it's a lot. Oh, okay. An hour later than that even. Well, thank you for staying up. I totally appreciate it. I love it. So between you guys and then when Penny joins us from Australia, we've got all the time zones covered. We've got bedtime, we've got wake up time, we got it all. Okay, so there we go. So these guys are covered with the tulle now, and you can see that peeking through, which actually is just quite pretty on its own. You could stick a little thing behind there, have a little bit of extra texture. You could just do it plain like this if you wanted, but we want to create a shaker. So let's do that. Okay, so I've got 1/4 inch foam. I just cut that with my good scissors. All right, so because I added the heart, I've got to be careful about my strips here. You may want to cut these in half, because you really don't need a whole lot. Oh, you know what I used? I totally forgot. So scrapbook.com has these really long ones. So I don't really want to use the 1/4 inch stuff because it's just it's too wide. Save that for later. Some days I forget because it's been a minute since I made these. Here, look at how nice that came off. Excellent. All right, but I also have like these shorter strips left over from other kits and things like that. So the little thin strips actually work out the best for this because there's not a lot of room all the way around. And I wanted to show you guys a little trick that I like to do with my shakers, because a lot of times those little shaker pieces, like your sequins and stuff, falls to the bottom. And then you really got to shake it like every time you want to see all the pretty sequins and whatever's in there. So take yourself a piece and pop it in between some of the words to give it barriers. You don't need very big pieces. So like I'm going to pop one here in between the love and the U, and then maybe one between the lots and the heart. All right, so they're not going to see that, but this little, those little bits there are going to help stop the sequins from getting all the way to the bottom. And that's a nice way to, A, not have to put as much sequence in your shakers, and B, to keep it all shook up, if you will. Okay. Okay, so the sequins mix that I'm using for this first one is called City, this says City Lights, but if you go out to Picket Fence, it's City of Lights. So there we go. Put a little bit. So you don't need a whole lot because this is just such a tiny shaker to begin with. But now we've segmented it into 3 little areas. So that's actually quite enough. For the other one, I'm going to do a different sequins mix. All right, so when you're pulling off your backings, of course, now we want to be careful that nothing jumps so that the sequins doesn't end up on any of the foam. And this piece just doesn't want to come up. All right. See, I did end up getting one there. Oh, concentration. All right, so I've got my fun pink piece on the back here. And now we can sandwich this all together. This backing piece doesn't need to be exact. All right, it just needs to cover everything. And as you can see, there's still some of the foam that's sticking out. That's fine, that's going to stick on the card. All right, so now I can, there we go. See, so because I put those little spacers in between, you can see that some of the sequins doesn't, it doesn't always make it to the bottom. There it is. All right, so this I can now just pop in the center, and this is going to help break up lines. This is what I love about doing the setup this way. Is now what I've done is all these lines that are behind here, I've broken them up with this little shaker element, and it brings everything together. All right, there we go. And so now, even when it's sitting up, you can still see shaker elements in here because they are hitting those little breaks in the center, which works really nice. They can still kind of move all the way around. If you really want to segment them out, you can, like, completely. So let's do up this last one. All right, boom, strips. So like I said, I can pop in. Right, so you know what else I like about this is that it's just a little shaker element. It's not like the whole card. So that's kind of a nice feature, to do just a little shaker element instead of like having to fill up an entire card. Let's see. So if you don't have Tulle, of course, you can always do just your regular, I don't like the size of that piece, window sheet. And then for the stuff inside, you can do any number of things. You could even take these letters, these Love You Lots letters, and put them back inside, right? So we could do that. Just let me grab, I'm just trying to grab all these letters from the side here. So we can pop these letters back in there. Because it's going to have a colored background, putting the white letters in here is totally cool. You will see them. You can put little seed beads in here, which is one thing I'm going to do because I've got some green seed beads that I love. That will match really well with this. Trying to get the centers out of those. All right, so that's that, and we've got you know, you can always just go with your regular sequins. This is the Green Mountains mix by Catherine Pooler. So for me, that might work really well if I wanted to grab some green out of here. So yeah, don't be afraid to like mix and match things for sure. So that, I'm not going to do the Vegas Baby because these are gold and I'm trying to do like silver here. But these are the seed beads I was talking about, these glass beads. And these are really awesome. So those I can throw in there. Yeah, all sorts of fun things. I mean, just find little things, little curiosities you can add. You just need to make sure that they're big enough that they're not going to go through the Tulle. If you're using Tulle. If you're using the window sheet, then no worries. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of green and yellow. I don't think I have one. Here we go. And then I also have the gin and tonic sequence mix, and that's got silver and white in it. So I don't have anything yellow, but that's okay. All right. So there we go. I need to cut this guy down. I had a little whoops. I miscut this guy and I wasn't sure if he was going to be big enough. Oh, but he is. Okay, good. I heard something and I was like, oh. All right. Yeah. So Cece, now that you're thinking outside the box, you have lots of things you can put in a shaker. All sorts of little doodads. I mean, basically the only requirement is that they need to not be chunky so that they like bulge when you put your shaker together. And then they should just kind of move freely, right? Okay, so I need to be careful with this because this is like just the right size. There we go. Oh, that's so fun. All right. And then you know what, Anne? I love these glass beads. I got them for a thing I was doing, a workshop or something, and I thought, oh, what am I going to use these for? I use them for everything. I love just adding them onto a card. Actually, I'll show you that in a second here because we can further embellish these to finish. Okay, so it's always nice to add just a couple of little sequins or seed beads or, you know, whatever you want on the outside as well. So I'll take my on point glue and I'm gonna just put I'm gonna put like 2 up here. This is always my triangle, right? So like 1, 2, and then maybe 1 down there. Okay, so with the seed beads, I'll pop a seed bead on here. I love that, the way that that looks. And then I'll grab, oh, here. Like that. And then, do I have... There's kind of a yellow in this sequins mix too. And iridescent. All right, so just like these guys stick really well into like your matte medium or your mix. See how cute that looks up there? All right, so there we go. Our fun and funky ad hoc one that we just kind of put together from things we found in the scraps bin. Thanks for the, look at how nice that looks on there, Anne. That's awesome. And then on this guy, we can add some of the other sequins. Oh, gotcha. Cece was just letting me know what she was thinking. She doesn't have the Stampin' Die set. Okay, so like just a regular square you could do, or something with like a nice decorative edge on the square. And then, yeah, you can do words or just do an image. An image works too. It doesn't have to be words. So yeah, an image, and I just spilled those on. I love this sequins mix. It's gorgeous. So on this guy here, again, there we go. Or if you have like a die cut word, you could use the opposite, the leftover. So, you know, die cut the word out and set that aside for another project, and then use the negative. So like in the case of like the mega hello that I was showing you earlier, I would use the that big gold sequensy bit. So that's why I saved these, CC. So how fun would that be if I did a shaker behind the letters here, right? So these guys work out really well. I mean, not for this design per se, but that's why I saved these. They're all just kind of falling all over the place. Let's see if I have another example of a reverse. Oh, or like, see, this would work well as a shaker. If you wanted to do this, you could. If you had the shine, you would just cut this slightly smaller and you could put that in the center and do that as a shaker. Lots of different things that you could do. So you have to look at your die cuts creatively to figure out how you would get a negative image die cut like that to do something. I bet you, I know you've got something. I'm sure you do. All right. Ta-da! Here we go, guys. Another fun week with Concord and 9th. So that was our sample. Those are the ones we made today. Excellent work. And awesome teamwork, guys. Thanks for the ideas as we worked on this one together. And yeah. So there you go. I love that this has the little letters floating around in it. It's totally cute. Awesome. There you go. Excellent. So guys, don't forget, if you loved today's video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this out. Invite your friends. Tell them to come craft with us on Thursdays, because running with scissors is the best. We have the best time. And we're international. Yes, we're awesome. Okay, guys, I will see some of you around the Bloom neighborhood. And for others, if you're not a part of Bloom yet, don't forget to check out bloomcrafters.com. Get on the wait list. And for everyone else, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Stay comfy and cozy and do some crafting. I'll be back here next Thursday with another Running with Scissors. And until next time, happy crafting, guys.